go ahead and get started. Today we're talking about using video in aviation marketing, and I have got, thank you, Karla, for sending your videos, and I've also got about a few others, 1 or 2 minute videos that we wanted to share and just kind of talk about. So,
great.
But first, I wanted to share some of the statistics about using video, because I don't know if anybody, I think everybody knows how important it is to be using video, but I don't know if anybody knows exactly how important it is. Because we just appreciate you being here and being part of the community and contributing your knowledge and things like that. So I'll go first. I'm Paula Williams with ABCI. Our mission is to help aviation companies sell more of their products and services, and we do whatever it takes, whether that is websites, video, social media, trade shows, whatever it takes to get them the sales that they need.
John Williams, and I work for her. I do most of the back end stuff for the company, including the finances, the IT, and editing.
A lot of editing.
So I think Chip may be next.
I'm Chip Allen. I am the Cub Crafters dealer for the Southeast. So we live in the tailwheel world and always looking for ways to sell more airplanes.
Fantastic. John wants one of those with his next.
I grew up learning to fly in J5.
I learned to fly in a J3 many years ago, and I've never lost the passion for tailwheel airplanes.
Yep, I get it.
Good to have you here, Chip. How about Karla? You want to go next?
Yeah, hi there. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, I have a feeling. Okay, so hi, I'm Karla Roberts. I am the owner of Motive Learning, and I actually am an instructional designer and video producer by trade. So I'm interested in this topic today. I've been producing videos for 30 plus years, and I'd like to see what we're going to talk about with marketing. Mainly, we do training, though, for aviation and aerospace companies. So my instructional design background is where I come into play, where I can basically create instructional videos.
We're going to be talking about 2 of yours today, Karla, so thank you for volunteering.
Thanks.
Hal, how about you?
Oh, okay. Hal Stevens. My company is Sapphire Aviation Solutions. I primarily deal with pre-purchase inspections or in customer oversight, whether it be buying and selling an aircraft or a large maintenance project. I'm based in Montreal, Canada, dual citizen. However, I haven't been down to the States in a while, but looking forward to my first trip down there since, once the COVID gets settled. That's about it. Just enjoying a beautiful day here.
Fantastic.
My friends still think I have snow here. It was 88 degrees. The pool's filled, ready to go.
Wow. Oh, that's cool. And it's probably really neat being a dual citizen, because I know a lot of people have had a really hard time traveling this year. And
yes, that's correct. Yeah. I can go down to the state. I could have gone down to I haven't been there since March of 2020. I could have gone down there in April, but well, maybe not April, but latter part of last year. But coming back into Canada, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks, and I just don't have a large enough house to quarantine for 2 weeks. I'd have to go live in the shed or something, that type of thing. But my business has picked up since November of last year. I've been busy in Canada, which is very good. And I just delivered my first Global 7500 last week.
Well, congratulations. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me today. This was really nice.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys being here. This is always fun to just chat with people who are in the industry about some of the things that are working and not working for them, because, you're where it's at. I mean, we can read books all day long, or we can, talk about marketing theory all day long, but it's the real people in the real industry that have the real information that everybody wants to know. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share some stats about video marketing that you probably already know, but they kind of blew me away. This is produced by a company called InVideo, which of course is in the business of producing video. So you have to kind of take the source into account. They're going to tell us all of the good information and none of the bad, but their information is pretty verifiable. I've seen this in multiple sources. They just put it together in kind of a neat way. So a couple of the things that really stood out to me, one of them is that 1/3 of all online activity is spent watching videos, not reading blog posts, not surfing the web, not clicking links, not doing anything else, but watching videos. I don't think that's ever been true until this year. 6 out of 10 people prefer watching online video content over television.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that tells me that, what they like about it is that they can choose what they're watching. It's a little bit more tailored to them. That's the only reason that I can think of. And there's typically fewer commercials, or at least the commercials are a little bit more navigable than television has gotten so commercially full of stuff lately. But what do you guys think about this? Are you watching more video now than you were before?
Well, I've always been a film buff, so I've always been watching television and visual materials. But it's true. I think why it's, of course, with the online viewership now, they've made it so easy. And of course, everybody's cutting the cable, right? Or cutting the cord is what they say.
Yeah.
So I have heard that even just compared to reading books, that 75% of people would rather watch a video than read a book nowadays for documents. So that's interesting in itself, that we have just gotten into this total visual world.
Right. In fact, I had someone suggest to me a while back that we switch our book club for a video club or a podcast club. Have everybody listen to a podcast or watch a video instead of reading a book. For a book club.
That's an interesting idea.
I know, it's so untraditional.
They're actually writing a script right now, and the opening line is from the movie Bad Teacher, where she said that movies are the next books.
Yeah.
And I hope that that's not really true, because you can get so much more out of reading, and you can, of course, elaborate in the story and such. But going back to what you just said, it's a lot easier to listen to a half-hour podcast, talk about that, than to come back and, read a book for some of us who can't read books in a day, which some people can.
Yeah, right, exactly. One other item that came up, mobile dominates video consumption. So 75% of videos are played on mobile devices. And Hal, I know you're on your iPhone right now, so you probably spend a lot of time on it. Does that sound right to you, that 75% of videos are played on mobile devices? Uh-oh.
Oh.
We might be frozen.
Well, I can jump in while he's getting set up, or if you just, Hal, go ahead and interrupt me. But I think it is very interesting if you have younger people in your household, you'll see them watching their videos on their phone.
Yeah.
More than a bigger screen.
Okay. Good video right there.
Right. And another thing that struck me is 70% of millennials, and millennials are turning 40 now. So this is not what we think of as millennials or not.
True. You got Gen X, right? Lower than that. And
70% of millennials prefer to watch videos in portrait mode on their phone. And we found this to be really true with some of our flight school clients and things like that, where they have a younger demographic. People are watching more of those portrait videos and things like that. So, I mean, that's pretty crazy to me, but.
Well, and I'll just interject is that one of the things that I talk about, I actually teach a film class. And when I do the history of movie pictures or motion pictures, is that, we talk about Nickelodeons. And back in the late 1800s, these Nickelodeons came out. And of course, people are seeing these moving pictures and are wowed by them, just like we are today, right? We're just mesmerized by anything moving. But back then, you're looking at a very small Nickelodeon. You're putting your face in. It's only costing you a nickel, but you're looking at a very small image. And guess what we're doing today, 100 years later plus?
We're doing the same thing.
We're doing the same thing.
Right. Okay. One more stat, and then we'll move on to the movies that I've got lined up. YouTube is the most popular platform among marketers for sharing videos, followed by Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. TikTok didn't make the list, but I know that's very popular with some of our flight schools and some of the younger set. So, but yeah, I mean, if you don't have a YouTube channel, this is something that we talk with. I think every one of our clients has brought this up to us at least once in the last 6 months. Is we need to think about now or in the future building a YouTube channel with playlists and the whole 9 yards, and really using all the features of that, because it's really, you have the opportunity to build a TV channel, and why would you not do that? If you have the opportunity to do that just for the cost of producing the videos. YouTube doesn't charge you anything. Of course, they will stick commercials in between your videos and other things, but there is a cost to it in that way. But financially, you sure can't beat the opportunity as a marketer to really show your product rather than tell. So I figured we'd do these two first. These are the ones that Karla, that you sent. And then this first one, I think we just want to do the first maybe 2 minutes of, if that's all right with you. I wanted to show the interactivity of it.
Yeah, exactly. If you put your cursor back, you can see that there'll be some interactivity at those timings.
Exactly. So you guys can see my screen, right? And you're seeing, I'm going to start this video from the beginning, but this is a video that you produced, or that one of your...
No, I created this.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and take a look.
But it is a marketing video for one of our customers, JBT Aerotech.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll start playing.
Right? Exactly. I've got everything.
You might want to refresh the page if it's been sitting there for a while.
Yeah, it has been sitting here for about half an hour, so let's try this.
See if that works. Yeah, there we go.
Have you considered the benefits of going electric?
So then it stops, and I have to actually click something to move on. So have I considered the benefits of going electric? Should I choose yes or no, Karla, here?
Well, if you're going to watch the video, I'd say yes. Let's go.
Okay, we'll say yes.
Let's say yes. Let's be positive.
Effective than fuel. Fewer moving parts result in less frequent maintenance, providing a faster return on...
Turn your volume up, Paula.
Sorry?
Turn up your volume on the video.
and lower total cost of ownership. And of course, with no initial...
So that last little one was just showing that you can annotate like on the video.
Right. So there's actually a clickable item here. You know, want more information, I could click there if I wanted to. I also like these icons here about, these are kind of bookmarks. Have you considered the benefits of going electric? FedEx is close by, you know, those kinds of things.
Choosing the Commander 30i Electric provides all the benefits of a standard JBT Commander loader, including familiar controls, easy maintenance, and long-term value, but with the advantages from being electric.
And then I've got to click here to email.
Whether you want a loader that just meets industry requirements, or one that is tailored to your specific needs. The Commander 30i Electric loader features common but flexible design. They are also easy to operate with a large installed fleet.
Okay.
Familiar features.
So I think that's probably most of the interactive features that I wanted to cover. If you don't mind if we stop that there, just so that we can go over some more videos as well. But a couple of things that I love about this is that it is HD. You know, I mean, you can tell I've got a really high resolution screen, and this looks so good. A lot of us now have broadband, and we have the HD capability and everything else. And when you can see really high resolution footage, it looks so clean and so perfect compared to everything else that's out there. So that really stands out. And also the interactivity, I think, is really cool for a marketing opportunity.
Right. And the tool that I use actually, talking about the HD, and obviously if you put things on YouTube, they will play back in HD, like you said, if you have the bandwidth to be able to support that. Mm-hmm. But this was actually being played back off of Vimeo, and it's the same type of technology that it streams based off of what your connection is.
Right. So if you're not seeing this in HD, it's because of your connection, not because of the video. So
correct.
Right. It will play whatever it will support. And tell me about the interactivity. That is something that you storyboard with a client, and you're using a software tool to make that work.
Well, I to be honest, what we're doing is about during COVID. I always do, like, we have pre-COVID, we have during COVID, right, and we're about out of COVID, right?
Right. Hopefully, right.
So during COVID, I started looking into interactive video to be able to enhance the instructional videos that I had, as well as, but then really what a lot of video marketing or interactive video is actually being marketed to is for marketing efforts. Yeah. So you saw there the call to actions, like click here for more information. You can keep that available the entire time somebody's watching a video. If there's something important like the email to maintenance, that was one of the ones. So I actually just put these in. It just took a few minutes just to kind of show an example of what you could do with interactivity in a video.
Right.
With video. And to answer your question, I mean, you would have to think this out ahead of time, but I actually created this video pre-COVID, so we didn't think about it. So I was just putting some things in there that made sense to me to show some examples.
That is nifty. That's really cool. I really like that. So let's move on to the next one. Let's Chip or Hal, did you have any thoughts or questions or comments on this one?
I never really thought about making your videos that much and interactive, but I like it a lot.
Yeah. Especially if people have it right there in their hand, they don't have to get up and walk to the TV like I used to when I was a kid. You know, I was the remote control when I was little.
You were the interactive piece.
I was the interactive piece, right? Exactly. Okay, the second one is also from Motive Learning. This is from Karla's company. And one of the cool things about this is that it's embedded in her homepage. This is happening a lot with people who are designing web pages or websites new from scratch nowadays. They're wanting a video on their homepage that's kind of an introduction, because people would rather see than read, watch a video than read. And it's a really good way to introduce your company. So I'd like you to watch the first few minutes. I think this one is only about 3 minutes. So 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
And you can see it is on YouTube. So it does open up in a window and plays it off of YouTube.
Yeah.
The Motive LMS assures companies employees are competent being able to prove employees are qualified not only reduces company risk, but it
turn the volume up.
That's as high as it'll go, John.
So I can tell you that it introduces our product, the qualification management system that we built called Motive LMS. And so we're trying to give the reasons why you need this, and how it works. And so what I was hoping for feedback from the group today is more of, this is the 2D type of animations. They're pretty quick and easy to build using some tools that are available. And just wanted to see what your feedback is now that you've seen kind of the HD live action version of marketing videos, and now you're looking at a 2D version. Do you think that there's any pros and cons, any differences? Would you look at this differently?
For example, to be a qualified aircraft steward, training requirements might be.
Cool. Oops, I'm going to stop that there. I kind of like the cartoony feel of that. Because you're trying to explain something that's kind of complex, and people will throw up their hands if they feel like this is something that, Mickey, my son, is a math tutor, and there is a whenever somebody hears something technical, they have a tendency to throw up their hands and say, I don't understand this. But the 2D, super simple, cartoony feel of this really keeps that from happening. You know, they go, okay, you're saying some words that I don't know, but that's okay because I can follow, because this is super simple and it looks super simple and it looks like fun. So I think the subject matches the media there.
Okay.
What do you think, John?
I had never thought about it in those terms.
Yeah. Do you like the 2D, or would you like everything to be 3D, live action, HD fabulousness?
Well, the two videos we've seen so far are vastly different in what you're trying to convey.
Yeah.
But I much prefer the real life video.
The form follows function.
I grew up in the age of cartoons, and when I see cartoons, I think I always sit back and laugh at it.
Right.
But I'm not the target market, so it probably works well.
I think it probably works well for the targeted market. I'm not a big fan of the 2D. I'd rather watch the first video than the second one.
Okay.
We just overhauled our website about 6 months ago, and we did just what you said. We've got a video on the homepage, and it has been extremely well received. It's short.
Okay. That's fantastic.
The whole point of that is that we're not really selling airplanes. We're selling a lifestyle. And, the whole idea is to take these airplanes and go out and have fun with them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great idea, correlating that to your childhood. I thought that was fantastic.
Right. There's a lot in there. There was, the live action video. There was the nostalgia. There were the cuts to, the past, the balsa wood airplane with the, kind of brings people back to when they were a kid dreaming about this. And, now you can really do it. I really like that. Can I ask you, is that something, obviously you probably worked with a professional company and did a storyboard. What was the process like to produce that video?
Actually, the guy that put this together, I was flying one of the airplanes that was one of the camera airplanes. The guy that actually put this together was formerly the marketing manager for Cub Crafters.
Oh, nice.
He has since gone out on his own, and he does a lot of professional marketing and videos and stuff for Cirrus, and still does some work for Cub Crafters. And I pulled this one really out of our archives because it conveys what I want my website to convey, and that's buy an airplane, go out and have a good time with it.
Right. And there is no way you could get that across in 2 minutes. with words, on your website or any other way that I can think of. You feel free to name drop if you want to mention his name. I know a few of the players in the industry, but I don't know that I know who you're talking about. So
his name is John Bliss.
John Bliss.
John lives out in Yakima, Washington.
Mm-hmm.
His company is called Jonderfin, Jonderf. I have no idea where that came from, but he's a good friend and does some really beautiful work. We also have him do design workups for us for paint jobs on customers' airplanes.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. And, obviously that is something that takes a little bit of commitment on your part to do, because this was not cheap to produce. I can see from here that this was not cheap to produce. And it always takes longer than you expect, but this was a great investment, I think, for your website. I don't think you could I can't think of anything you could do better to represent the Carbon Cub and what people want from that airplane.
Right. Everybody wants to have that smile on their face like that one pilot.
And take you back to when you were 8 years old, thinking this is what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That's really, really powerful. Yeah.
I'll just bring up the fact that, so going back to, because we were just talking about the 2D versus live action,
Mm-hmm.
Those were beautiful shots that they got. I loved when the plane came in, the second plane came in, so beautifully done. But it does go back to that the 2D are very inexpensive to produce.
Exactly.
To be honest, that's one of the reasons why you see a lot of them nowadays.
Right, which is one thing that I wanted to mention here. If anybody is considering doing video or dipping their foot into video, thinking that they need to do a Cecil B. DeMille production like this one, you don't want to be intimidated by the fabulous things that there are in the field, because a lot of people are producing very short, very inexpensive videos that are they're not just as effective. They are not something you would put on your homepage, but they are something you would put on a weekly basis on your social media. So there are different levels of video for different purposes. And the rest of the ones we're going to look at are, kind of the short, inexpensive versions where we're just explaining a concept or introducing a person or something like that. So I'm going to move on to the next one, unless there's anything else anyone wanted to add about Chip's fabulous contribution. Thank you for that. That was a surprise today.
Well, I don't know if this is the place, but I can tell you had a lot of short clips, right? It was very, the video kept moving because there was lots of quick shots.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you want to think about when you're creating videos too, is to keep the message moving, but just that to be more modern now is to do exactly what they did with those quick shots. Right.
And, since we're talking about millennials being 40 now, that's something that happened this year. Those are kids that grew up with MTV, and they grew up with the 2-minute Sesame Street. I grew up with Sesame Street, so, if a video doesn't capture my attention within the first 15 seconds, I moved on to something else. And, that's a flaw in my character, or that's just the way people are nowadays. I don't know. Okay, so this one I'm going to share is actually from Aerostar, which is one of our clients. And this is a less produced video. This is something that we shot in an hour. We spent an hour shooting with these guys, and we produced 8 videos for them from those shots. So super inexpensive compared to what we just saw. So I want to adjust your expectations. And let's take a look at this one. And this is just introducing a person. And what I want you to see is this somebody that you would want to have as your flight instructor, and why?
Sherry Harvey, and I am the 141 program manager, and I am also a flight instructor and check instructor at Aerostar. I got started in aviation actually in my early 20s with a guy that I was dating. My boyfriend was a private pilot, and he had an aircraft, and we flew everywhere. Next thing I know, I was handling the radios and the comms. I got hooked on it, and I decided to start taking lessons. I got my private pilot's license at a little local flight school, and shortly thereafter, I bought my first plane, little Cherokee 180, and I utilized that for business and continued my training with that aircraft. Fashion accessory business. So I used my airplane to go on buying trips, like to New York City. I lived in upstate New York, and I went to New York City and other areas for doing my purchasing for the goods for my store. Yeah, and it was actually a lot of fun. It was great. Then later on in life, I upgraded and got a Saratoga, which is a great cross-country machine. Did some additional training with that. It was better for business, and I've always been in aviation. I've always owned aircraft. I still do today. Yeah, I would just like to invite everyone to visit our website with the 141 side, which is becomeapilot.us.
Just finish that up. A couple of things about this. They want to produce something every week on their social media and on their YouTube channel. And so, we have a low budget. They're shooting the video themselves. They have flight students shooting video. It varies in quality from one shot to the next. And this is still really, really effective with their market, which is high school kids who are used to those, vacation videos and things like that. So it's an interesting thing.
Well, you brought up the fact on, using, there were some photos that were used, which is, again, another cost-effective way of kind of filling and getting a visual, across as well. And of course, you kept it moving with the animation. So, that keeps people engaged. So it all works. All the pieces work. And people are used to home videos now. I mean, it's gone are the days, where you had the high dollar production, and, you can get away with it now, honestly.
Right. And there are some brands, that actually benefit from this because it looks more transparent. It looks more authentic to that demographic, a lot of times than the slick produced. We hired an expensive producer kind of movies. Of course, Chip's demographic is completely different, but it's, where his, I'm guessing, Chip, and you can tell me if you think I'm smoking something here, but I'm guessing that your target customer is a little bit older, and so they are used to the more produced, the more polished commercials, whereas the demographics for Aerostar are looking for something that's super transparent and something that their best friend did, as opposed to something that a corporation did.
Absolutely agree. Our target is aged 50 to 70, retired or semi-retired with a bank account.
Yeah, and these guys are looking for 15 to 20-year-olds, so it's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. I also wanted to share this one because this is very, very different, and this is super low budget as well. We'll just go ahead and play it. So this one is just barely even a video. And yet, that is more effective than a blog post saying the same thing. Here are the reasons that you need an aircraft broker, as opposed to, doing it yourself.
Well, and I'll just jump in here because, and I'm learning too about marketing, but, the things that I've noticed over the last year since I've been thinking about these things is that, that graphic of,
Well, while she's getting back, that one you just showed, man, I like that. I'm an aircraft broker, and we spend half our time trying to convince an aircraft owner that he needs a broker.
Right.
Well, most of them say, I don't need a broker. I'll just throw it up on Barnstormers and sell it.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I'll just throw it up on controller. And Karla, it looks like you're unfrozen.
Am I?
Good. I am so sorry. You were in the middle of the sentence and you disappeared on us. But Chip, you're absolutely right. It's so much easier to convince someone of a simple point using a moving graphic and something that catches their attention, because you're not going to convince them of anything until you first get their attention. Second, kind of get their there's a boundary that gets crossed when you use humor. And Karla might know a little bit more about the science behind this, but when you are experiencing humor, or when you are exposed to a cartoon or a comic, there's a part of your brain that gets activated that lowers your distrust, and makes you go, okay, well, I'm going to entertain this thought because obviously it's a cartoon, so I'm not meant to take this literally. But then you go, you know what? That's actually true. So it's a really good way to convince people of something that.
Well, what I was going to share was watching the comic strip, was the fact that could easily be repurposed. Mm-hmm. And in the sense of that, from what I can tell with marketing, is touching all these different venues like Facebook and Instagram, as well as the fact though that, YouTube is the, number one search engine, right? So you have to put, even if you don't have video, mm-hmm. come up with what they did and at least get a video up on YouTube.
Right. That's exactly right. And if it's not seen, that's kind of another thing, is if it's not on a search engine, then you're not, it doesn't matter how pretty your video is if nobody has ever seen it. It's just reality. So I'm going to power through a couple more and then we can talk about these as well. This one, real simple concept video, no video in this video.
Little technical thing. So this is called the Ken Burns effect, when you're using a photo and moving around the image. Mm-hmm. And that's from that documentary filmmaker, Ken Burns. He developed the technique.
Yeah. I'm going to turn down the sound because it's just music. But I think two things. One, a lot of people are going to listen to your video or watch your video without sound. So, you'll notice most of this, the meaning is conveyed without sound. And then the second thing is this is kind of a collaborative effort between a charter company and a destination. And this destination happens to be far enough from a commercial airport that most of their clientele come by charter. So it's really good for them to do this collaborative effort. And it's also really good for our client, which is SSC, to show a thing that they are capable of. And then people will see this and go, okay, well, I want to go someplace that's about a similar distance away. I don't know what a Piper Mirage is, but now I know I can get there with 4 people in it and, do my my trip more easily than taking the freaking airlines, which I don't want to do because of any number of reasons before last year, right?
Yep.
Okay. Also, that was completely done with stock photography, Ken Burns, as you mentioned, the Ken Burns effect, which makes a still image look like a video, and some easy animation. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share one other thing, and this is I wanted to show how you can repurpose something. And this is just kind of a day in the life of a company. And this is such a simple thing. This is just, here's what's going on today at Turbines, and introducing one of their machinists doing his thing. And it's just kind of a behind the scenes view. This is actually on Instagram. So just kind of showing you how you can repurpose a video. And this one is just a few seconds. And this one doesn't go bigger. And I don't think I can adjust the volume either. Now, weirdly, let me stop that. Weirdly, that is one of their more popular videos on YouTube. It's, we just repurposed it on Instagram and it's getting some views there as well. But it's just a 15-second view of what's going on in their shop. And, the type of people that like the Who It's Made videos. Hal, I know those are produced in Canada on cable TV, and a lot of people will sit there and watch the How It's Made, and there's like vending machines and things like that. So things that you might not think are interesting really are to people who are outside of your business. So if you don't know how they set rivets, that's going to catch your attention while you're scrolling. And that's all we wanted to do, was just capture their attention and refer them to Turbines and get them to click through to the link and go, oh yeah, I need some work done. I hope that, you guys have gotten a few new ideas today, of different ways to use video that are not expensive or too intimidating or anything else. Hal, do you have a video you'd like to share? Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, everything's been very informative. I don't have any videos at my fingertips. But what I've seen thus far today, it's very interesting and gets you thinking on, better ways to market your services.
Right.
Or what message you're trying to get across to your potential customers.
Right. Exactly. And I guess, if there were anything I wanted to convey today, it's just, trying to give you guys some ideas and maybe inspiration. And I really appreciate you guys joining us for this. We'll go back around the room and kind of introduce ourselves one more time in case people tuned in the middle of this by the time it's edited, and that kind of thing. So I'm Paula Williams with Aviation Business Consultants International, and we help aviation companies sell more of their products and services using websites, video, social media, whatever it is.
I'm John Williams. I work for her and whatever she said.
And you do whatever I say?
And I said what she said.
Cool.
Smart man.
Excellent. Karla, would you like to go next? Or?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm Karla Roberts, and I'm an instructional designer and video producer. And we help you build training to train your employees on the airport.
Right. And we have some hopefully really exciting joint ventures coming up soon that we will not talk about today. Right.
Just tease about it.
Right. Chip, would you like to go next?
I'm Chip Allen. I own SWT Aviation. We are the Southeast U.S. dealer for Cub Crafters. So we're all about selling tailwheel airplanes and selling an experience.
Excellent. And thank you for sharing that fantastic video. It was really an unexpected surprise.
Thank you for the kind comments. I appreciate it.
Right. Hal, how about you?
Yeah, Hal Stevens with Sapphire Aviation Solutions. My business consists of anything to do with aircraft purchasing, whether it be a pre-purchase inspection, you're trying to sell your airplane, you like to buy an airplane, oversight on a big maintenance package. I'm your man. Been in the industry 40 years, and this was very enlightening what you did today, Paula and John. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you both.
Yeah, well, thank you all for joining us. This was really a lot of fun to do. We do a discussion every 2 weeks on Monday, either about a book. Maybe soon we'll change that to a video club or a podcast club or something like that, or a topic. So, watch your calendar, and we'd love to have you all join us again. You guys were fabulous guests, and we'd love to have you talk about how this relates to you, because, it's the people in the industry that really are where the rubber hits the road and can tell us what's working and what's not. Thank you very much, and have a lovely afternoon. We'll see you next time.
Stay safe.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.